welcome to an all-new episode of SCNS Live, the super cool nerd show. I'm so used to saying we're playing D&D after that, but we're not.
We will be.
We will be this weekend.
Soon. I'm Jason the X.
No, you're not. Oh, wait, I'm Kat.
You need to, never mind.
What? I don't know.
Sticks of...
Hello, I'm Cass.
People are going to be so confused tuning in for the
I
first
don't
time.
actually know what that makes me.
That makes you Cora. Yes,
yeah, sorry.
by default,
Hi.
you're Cora.
I think
Listen,
you're John
I was
Cena
concentrating
and
on
you're not
John
even here.
Oh, we're now wrestlers? Oh, man.
I call it the man.
Becky Lynch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that for me. Anybody. Anyway.
Oscar, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no, what's her name?
Kenny Omega.
Oh, no, what's her name?
Go ahead.
I don't remember her name.
I don't, what, a female wrestler?
Goth and Strong.
Huh?
Goth and Strong.
No idea.
Cat.
God, okay. I'm pretty sure
Probably be the
30 minutes into the show, she's going to remember who the hell she was wanting to talk about, and it's just going to blurt out, and it's going to be glorious, everybody.
Although I called the man just so that Jason couldn't take it. I think Undertaker is more my speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's old school stuff. How's everybody's week going?
Been playing a lot of Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I know you're just praying for time to move more quickly. Why is that?
Because Knights of the Zodiac comes out tomorrow. I already bought my movie ticket. And Jason's going with me, so he's got a ticket too.
I mean, the premiere was just a couple of days ago. Or, no, the premiere was yesterday.
Yeah, the Hollywood fancy premieres were yesterday and tonight. Or no, yesterday and then tonight and tomorrow.
Did you say the fancy Hollywood premieres?
The red carpet, yes.
Yeah,
Knights of the Zodiac?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones I'm not allowed to go to
Yeah.
because I'm disruptive and too loud.
Right.
I have a restraining order.
And tried to kiss the main cast.
I might have a restraining order from McKenna, and you know what? It's fine.
I want this movie to do good, but it's under some stiff competition with Guardians 3, which I saw Sunday. It's very good.
Is it? I'm a little disappointed in movie-going audiences, including very much myself. I was reading reports Dungeons & Dragons didn't do very well.
No! I need a sequel!
Everybody who saw it loves it, but it's kind of underperforming.
I mean, the freaking Meg got a sequel this week. Have y'all seen this trailer?
I have
An article.
What? Gonna see the
Meg, the
Do you
Tritch.
think I watched the trailer for the Meg
You should,
the
because
Meganing?
I did.
Is that what it's called?
It's a story also.
No idea what
Is
it's
that the
called.
one about the shark and the surfer?
The
or
real
something?
big.
Oh.
It's really big. It's
On
a
the
big
supercoolnerdshow.com page, right, I wrote something about it that I was a bit critical about it. And people honestly it's American kaiju. I understand. I read this book when I first went off to boot camp back in years ago. And I enjoyed the book and the sequel, but then the third book I was like, y'all have gone way too far now. And that's how I feel hearing that this movie got a sequel out of the blue. Wow. And it just looks like Too Fast and Too Furious with sharks.
I mean, yeah.
But here's the question. Does the shark have a family?
Actually, they do. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
This movie looks just
Alright,
so weird.
rough.
I don't know. But anyway, back to Knights of the Zodiac has some stiff competition.
It does, and I really hope it does well. Bandai and the director both want to make more movies. They have plans for several sequels. They want to have a little collection of movies for it. So they've got things planned. Please go see it, guys. If you're not familiar with the franchise, that's fine. This is a new take on it, so you don't have to be familiar with it. Please go see it. It looks good.
I mean,
Also, please go see the Dungeons & Dragons movie.
Yes.
It does not matter if you don't play or don't watch live play. It's a fun
It's-
romp.
It really is.
It's a really good fantasy comedy.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody really say anything negative about it.
No.
I need a sequel.
I mean, they explicitly said that in the article I read that it's extremely well reviewed. Everybody who has seen it likes it a lot.
The only people I've seen like writing bad reviews for it have just been doing it to get clicks, and all of the comments on those articles are, "You're looking at this way too seriously, my dude." Like, no one likes those articles. Everyone's praising
What's
this
the
movie.
money at on it?
I think it was like 200 something. Yeah, it's not great. They had exceeded the budget to make the movie. Like, they'd exceeded that in sales, but they had not exceeded that plus marketing.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, that's rough for a movie.
I think they should have reversed some of the things and put Dungeons and Dragons not so big, put Honor Among Thieves, and with, like, buy Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
kind of as... Because I think that's probably what it is Dungeons and Dragons worldwide only has, like... No, this is in America. Like 1.5 million players, which is a lot more than it used to, but like...
Yeah.
Still a bit niche.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that bonkers?
I realized for the first, I kind of realized that I have no context for how popular this game is because it's so big in my own personal life.
Yeah.
That I'm like, no, everyone plays Dungeons and Dragons just because all my friends do it. Yeah, everyone does.
I mean, I hang out in Critical Role forums
Yeah.
and Dimension 20 forums, and I'm shocked by the number of people who enjoy watching live plays who have no interest in playing.
That is wild.
That's so weird to me.
And why didn't all of you go see the movie, huh?
Yeah.
It's not too late.
Punks.
Go see it.
It's still at a lot of theaters, so yeah, go see it.
Yeah.
Buy a hard copy when it comes out on DVD
Yes.
and Blu-ray.
Hard copy of the movie. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
How ridiculous is that?
Or you can still buy it, though.
I'm buying it strictly to spite and support.
I'm buying it because I don't trust digital media. But I don't want a digital PS5.
I mean, the internet went out at my house the other night for several hours. I was so bored.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
anyway, that's it for that. We like to start the shows off with kind of a bummer about sales and stuff. Let us go and talk about some super cool nerd news.
So, with word that the pandemic is over, unfortunately, streaming services seem to be suffering quite a bit. How much? Disney Plus reported a 4 million loss in subscribers.
Whoopsie.
Ooh.
Big whoopsie.
Now, I've never been good at math, but that don't add up. So, what are they planning to do? Well, this is kind of the reason why CEO Bob Iger came back. And they have plans to severely cut content they are bringing to Disney Plus. Also, they're looking to trim some of the fat on Hulu, which is, if in case you didn't know it, that's something Disney owns as well. Now they're looking at combining both services, not together, but in more of a package deal where you can get a subscription to Disney Plus and a subscription to Hulu for a little price, which they actually have something like that in place. So I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like they're going to try to merge the content. I know that Disney Plus has always been kind of like the PG-13, whereas you put the hard R stuff on Hulu. But they put Deadpool and Deadpool 2 on Disney Plus. We're ready for this. As Bob Iger said, maybe it's time that everybody grows up. Also, let's not forget, and I have to mention this, there is a writer's strike going on. Just need to remember that. There's still a strike going on.
Double digits indeed.
They only want 3%. Pay them their money. Moving on. So Disney spent $30 billion on content in 2022. And they're looking to cut $3 billion off of that and cut some of the rights to things like ESPN and ABC Sports, which still have a strong showing, but not as much as it did once they bought it up. So this is a part of the maturation process as we grow into a business that we have never been in. Iger offered that, like I said, that new option of bundling both in a single app as an effort to attract new subscribers and increase engagement for both platforms. It's critical we rationalize the volume of content we're creating and what we're spending to produce our content. Our legacy platforms enable us to expand our audiences and often augment our potential streaming success while at the same time allowing us to amortize our content costs across multiple networks. So, they are taking a write-down to acknowledge the loss of value of $1.8 billion. I don't know about y'all, but that's a lot of money to me. I don't know about Disney, but it's probably a lot of money to them. I don't know how you recover from 4 million users being lost. But this is changing times. We do live in an economy where inflation is up there and people are trying to share those subscriptions more across each other. So 4 million though? Dang. And I'm going to be the first. I love Disney Plus. I love its Star Wars content. I am all about the Star Wars content. So I don't know. 4 million lost, guys. How the hell does this happen?
People didn't like the most recent season of The Mandalorian, which is a big part of it, I think.
Really?
It is not. It's got the first like negative reviews of their, I think, of all their shows. Don't quote me on that.
Wow. Didn't know that.
But yeah,
There's a diminishing returns cost.
Not of any of their shows, because don't forget Book of Boba Fett came out last year. And
Something,
that had
something.
extremely mixed reviews.
Recently watched that, and honestly, everything was good
Yeah, but, like,
up until the point Mandalorian came in.
negative reviews.
Oh,
It
okay,
was
fair
the
enough.
first negative reviewed of something to do with Star Wars.
Gotcha.
Something. And I thought it was Disney Plus Star Wars shows, but I could be wrong. Yeah, and I found out that Mandalorian holds a bigger stake for a lot of people than I would have thought. I think of Mandalorian as a nerd kind of thing. It's also just a big family thing.
Yeah.
Well, also, look at it like Mandalorian is literally the first television Star Wars content that we've ever had in a episodic form. So it kind of broke the ground with that, but then the magic of that did wear off because then you have all the other shows that are coming now. So it doesn't have that distinction anymore. I think Andor has kind of passed as far as like what's the best Star Wars show right now.
Oh, yeah. Andor was so good.
Andor raised the bar. Because at first, yes, we're willing to put on the blinders. Ooh, first Star Wars live action television show. This is what I've always wanted. And then we got more and more. And yeah, definitely Andor set the bar a little bit higher. And I kind of thought Mandalorian would be able to keep up with that, honestly.
It's my own personal thing. I didn't watch the third season of The Mandalorian because, and I'm going to go as light on spoilers as I guess I can for a show that's been out a couple of seasons. No?
Yeah,
You
go.
think?
I say go for it. It's out.
It's been a couple of years since, especially the second season. They finished the show. They finished it. He got Grogu to the Jedi. The whole point was him finishing that mission. So you finish that mission, and I'm like, I don't care what happens next. You did it, and I know that they kind of went back on that in the show, but I'm not interested in that. Like, you did the thing, and then they just kind of no.
I get it.
That's funny. This is Storytelling 101. We've talked about this with
Yeah.
our campaign and
Yeah.
character goals. If they're built around a goal and I want to keep doing the campaign, they can't satisfyingly finish that, or why would they stay? Like,
It's funny enough, and here is where I will avoid spoilers. That happened in Critical Role. Campaign 2, a character finished their arc and then went, now what? And it was really weird for that character for the rest of the season.
yeah. I mean, they played it phenomenally well.
They did.
And, yeah.
But especially for like 10 episodes, you were like, okay.
Well, I
That's
see your
why you
point, but
hear
also one of the major motivations of the show, or one of the major things story-wise, was completed in season 3. So, I kind of understand where y'all are coming from now. I don't know what's going to happen for season 4 of The Mandalorian, but on a larger scale, though, Disney Plus got to up your game or lower the money for the subscription costs.
I will say I am extremely worried about a further merging of the two apps. I would love it from a price perspective, but like the difference between Disney Plus and Hulu content is so stark. Like, just think, Disney Plus put out Miss Marvel, and Hulu put out Dope Sick, which was an in-depth look at the opioid epidemic in this country. And, like, I don't want them to stop making that kind of content. That was a really good and really important show. And Disney, when it's under the Disney brand, does not make that kind of content.
I mean, I will say Netflix has done pretty well with kids as a whole separate category.
Yeah.
There's some potential. Sorry.
There is.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I'm worried that Disney won't do that.
We did it at the same time. No, we actually, so we've been exposing my roommates, nieces, and nephew to some older cartoons because they haven't watched like classic Looney Tunes or classic Scooby-Doo. And when Disney had Looney Tunes on it, so we're like, hey, let's look at this. Or I think it was Disney, it may have been Hulu.
Or, anyway.
Yeah, either way. The point is, when we went back to find certain episodes, we found they did not exist anymore on the platform. We did that with some of the classic Disney cartoons, and it just didn't exist. When we went to look for the Looney Tunes cartoons, things like Wabbit Season did not exist.
Really?
So it's very... And people have complained about this in general on Disney, that certain episodes of shows have just quietly been just removed because they don't want anything negative or could be seen as negative. They censored Bluey for a while. Like, they took like 3 episodes down, one of them because it was about a poop joke.
Yeah.
And
Those are the best
Gravity
ones.
Falls
They edited-
famously, like,
They edited his hat.
He
for no reason.
published like his entire back and
Of
forth
S&P.
with standards
Yeah.
and practices, and them everything from like limericks with non-obvious endings that supposedly has the F word. It's the man from Nantucket. They tried to say it ends
Kentucky.
with
At the beginning was Kentucky, and S&P said that
Yeah,
that would
I think
naturally
there
conclude
was-
to Kentucky.
Yeah.
He
I
was
think
like,
there
no.
was an offshoot with Nantucket though,
Maybe.
because I remembered it was a really famous like first line.
It was there once was a man, but instead of Nantucket, they said Kentucky, and that's what S&P had a problem with. Is what I remember. There could have been another thing as well.
Yeah, it's basically that kind of censoring has me worried because I can't find those cartoons
Yeah.
anywhere else.
But you still have like Steamboat.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's weird. It falls into the same thing that Cass was saying of like concern.
We should probably move on to the next topic. Anyway, it's almost like 30
Yeah.
minutes into
Well,
the
we're
show.
kind of moving on from that, but not exactly, because I also have a Disney story, and it just kind of underlines what you're talking about.
Are they paying the writers yet?
No.
Damn it.
Disney's live-action Peter Pan remake just set a new record for the lowest and worst Rotten Tomato audience score of any live-action remake in studio history.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. What's even more impressive to me is exactly what that rating is.
What's the rating?
13 from audiences
Damn, son.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's really
I admit, I had zero interest in watching this.
Well, I mean, I already had my live action Peter Pan. It was called Hook.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's only, yes, so much. So go watch Hook. Hook is outstanding. The next lowest has more than double, 13 at 28, and it's Pinocchio. Which I had
Disney
no
one. I was like, the
interest in
Guillermo del
seeing.
Toro Pinocchio slapped.
Well, yeah, sure.
No, the Disney one.
But those are the only two with an audience score of under 45%. Maleficent, Cinderella, Jungle Book, Christopher Robin, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin all have 70 plus.
On audiences.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, and The Lion King, and the second Maleficent, and Cruella.
There's a second one.
Yeah.
I guess.
Sure.
I was surprised Cruella actually has 97% by audiences. I liked it. I thought it was fun, but
soon to be Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid is getting favorable reviews from the critics. Not that that says a lot, because the critics' reviews for this were at 60. Right now, the critics, I don't know if they have a formal, it just says high praise from early critics. I have kind of mixed, mostly I'm happy that this is happening. I don't want a bunch of remakes. But I
Yeah.
am excited for the Little Mermaid. So
Has anybody actually watched the Peter Pan one though? Because
No.
I don't want to. I've seen it.
no one's had any interest in watching this at all.
I
Wow.
didn't watch it. I didn't
I
watch
did-
Pinocchio. I don't.
I haven't watched. Yeah, I didn't watch Pinocchio. I didn't watch Cruella.
I didn't-
Like I haven't. I watched. I think Aladdin. I watched the Cinderella, which was actually decent.
Didn't watch Cinderella.
Cinderella is decent.
Yeah, because it's a completely different version of the story. They actually did something new because it was Kenneth Branagh.
And mind you, I don't hate Little Mermaid because of who's playing. I just hate that story, The Little Mermaid. I do.
She's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a trash movie.
Look, it's
She is
hard.
the shining.
At
She
least
is
they're
the.
not cutting the music from it.
She is
like
the shining
Mulan.
beacon
Yeah.
that is this movie.
Oh, I'll admit, I looked at the red carpet pictures. Halle,
She.
Anyway.
She is so cute as
she is
Ariel.
adorable.
Beautiful.
But-
I haven't seen most of these. I didn't see Dumbo. I
I forgot they made that one.
didn't see Lady and the Tramp. I
What?
refused to watch Mulan.
Yeah. No. I.
Because no.
Yeah.
Nah. Anyway,
Without getting political, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy. If you love it, tell us in the comments why. Because
Genuinely
if you
curious.
saw it, tell us in the comments. I
Yeah.
haven't seen anybody be like, I really want to see that.
yeah, I haven't heard bad or anything. Just nothing.
Tell us about it.
But yeah, like I wouldn't be
Crickets.
very angry if they stopped making these live actions. Apparently, The Rock said they want to do Moana.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. And also,
I think with my-
Lilo and Stitch is supposed to be adapted.
Please
which
stop. Please stop now.
How
There
and
was
why?
already controversy.
There's
around
controversy
that.
about both of those.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stitch render looks horrifying, and that's why I don't want to
Well,
see
they're
it.
not going to get more budget.
No, but apparently they've lost money, so we ain't-
Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have on Disney. What other movie? Do you have movies?
I don't, but I do have a new subscription service.
Okay. Let's
Kind
talk
of.
about subscribers.
All right. So, if you like manga, specifically the manga that is published by Viz, they now have an app.
She already has it.
I downloaded it strictly for this.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. We buy that.
I mean, honestly, I might just keep it. I don't know if I'm going to actually subscribe yet.
Might just keep it.
Yeah,
But-
for the show, though.
Yeah, of course. Research purposes, right?
But they have so many different manga on here. The manga subscription is $3 a month. There is a 7-day free trial. It's not bad.
Oh,
And you can read it chapter by chapter. Like, so if I wanted to check out Absolute Boyfriend, that was the first thing I clicked. I can read the first 3 chapters for free. But then after that, I would have to have an account and subscribe to do it. If you just want to buy volumes outright and have them digitally on your phone, you can do that. They have a section where you can like pull up the volumes for each manga and you can just buy them. So you can have it
Okay,
digitally on your
nice.
phone. Which is it's also just really good for a lot of manga that may not be in print anymore, or that's harder to find, like Nana, or like a lot of shoujo manga. Really, like it's really hard to find the variety we used to have in like the early 2000s of shoujo and horror, and those are the ones that are really big on here. So you can read those, like Absolute Boyfriend. It's actually really good.
Is there an option to like buy manga through a store on there?
Not that I have found.
Dang, that would be like the icing on the cake on that.
That would be, but like, if you remember any of the classics from when, like, mostly this is for like the older generation. If you've thought of one that you haven't been able to find for a while, but you want to reread it, if it's Viz, they have it. If you're younger and you want to read all of the latest My Hero Academia, they've got My Hero. Anything from Shonen Jump they've got on here, because Shonen Jump is Viz. So you have a huge library with which to download manga and read.
You know, I will
actually
say, I
good.
would have thought that digital comics would not be very much fun because I do like the tactile feel and stuff.
Yeah.
It was actually Overwatch that proved that wrong to me because they had comic books and they were fun to read online.
And a lot of this is in response to the fact that people will pirate it anyway online. So a lot of people are already used to reading these like on a computer screen or on a phone screen, wherever you're.
$3 is very manageable.
Oh yeah, for if you read more than one volume. Hell, if you only read one volume a month,
Yeah,
you've
literally.
paid for it because each of these volumes are like 11 or 12 at the store. So you've already made your money. And you're getting twice as much. And
Can I also
yeah.
tack on there that last week Hannah suggested a manga that's getting turned into an anime, and I was at Mitsuya, and they had it, and I couldn't resist off of her recommendation, and it's actually pretty good.
Oh wait, who published that actually?
Uh,
'Cause now I'm curious.
Kodansha? Oh, really? Is it not on there? Oh.
No, I was looking to see. No, it's not.
Either way, I sent this to her like in a text when I saw it, and she was like, "Are you getting it?" I was like, "I already bought it." Because I flipped through it in the store and it was pretty good. And they have the other volumes. I'm probably going to go back. So thank you for the recommendation, dude.
Yep.
Nice one.
Yes.
I can read through all of them before the anime comes out. So, check it out. You won't be sorry. It's very funny.
Unfortunately, that is not on the Viz app. However,
Damn, that would have been a great segue.
apparently Inuyasha is. I forgot.
Nice.
Forgot Inuyasha was published by Viz. Actually, there's a lot of Rumiko Takahashi on here that I didn't even know about. So fantastic.
You're gonna keep it. We all know.
Shush, you don't know that.
Cass, what have you got?
I actually do have movie news. It's a little more personal than I like to usually get. So the trailer for Oppenheimer came out. The newest trailer for Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, and I figured out how he's going to relate it back to time. Because it's Christopher Nolan, and his movies all have to be about time in one way or another. We were ahead of the Nazis by 18 months, so it's going to be a ticking clock to beat the Nazis to the bomb. I actually am interested in this movie. I did not think it was going to be after Christopher Nolan's last movie, which was really terrible, Tenet. But I'm actually interested. There's an interesting thing that they lean into a little bit in the trailer that I might go further in that the kind of I am become Death Eater worlds. They actually are going to address that, and I'm actually interested. I really, really, really didn't want to watch this movie, and now I definitely have to.
I think, Christopher Nolan might have been in his period of time, like M. Night Shyamalan, right? M. Night Shyamalan did a series of movies that got, a bunch of praise, and he was always very into color theory. It plays a huge role in everything he does, and then he went all out with it in The Village. I was really excited before this movie came out because I was like, he's all the way leaning into it. This is about a bad color and a good color. And in my young angsty days, I wrote songs about bad colors and synesthesia and all this stuff. Yeah. The Village is real bad. It's real bad.
Very terrible.
But he
Bad
had
movie.
to make it to start making decent movies again.
Yeah.
And I think that might be where Christopher Nolan is.
Maybe he learned his lesson with Tenet. That
He went all the
if you're
way
obsessed
into
with time,
time.
don't reverse it.
Like,
Made a movie that was only about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And those movies would feel so good to make, but then no, you got lost.
It was real weird.
And nobody told you no, and it was bad.
But it's also an absolutely star-studded cast, including Emily Blunt and Robert Downey Jr. And
What's his face playing in it? Killian something.
he's playing Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For once, he's not going to have a bag over his head for the majority of the
I
movie.
mean, every trailer for this movie, I don't want to see it because it looks like a drag.
Oh, it's going to be a giant bummer of a movie.
I feel like I'm just going to need to, call somebody and have a long conversation
just
after
pause
watching
it
this
halfway
movie.
through, take a little nap, and then watch the rest
It's in
of
the
movie.
theater. I'm going to have to wait till it comes out on video for that.
Actually, those
So-
movies have to be seen in the theater. His have to be seen. Because if you, are playing on your phone, there's no chance you're going to keep up with Tenet. Not that you could anyway, but, it was...
That made it so much worse.
I'll just be sitting in the theater quietly drinking. Got to go to the Alamo Draft House for this one.
Inception got me my core in the theater. It was one of the first ones I saw, in the X theaters or whatever.
I got made fun of because I pulled my knees up to my chest, had one hand over my mouth just watching it. It was so good.
I didn't see Inception. I did see Paprika in theaters. Same feeling.
My then boyfriend, like, we weren't big on like public display. We didn't always have to be like touchy feely. We realized at some point during that movie we were gripping each other's hands, and we're like, okay. But yeah, like hopefully I would like to see him make a return. I would
Christopher
love to
Nolan's
see
redemption.
an under 3-hour runtime while we're throwing wish lists up there.
There's no way.
Nah,
There's no
you
way.
ain't getting that.
Keep it to solid 3 and I'll be happy.
I was about to say, at best, it's going to be like 247. And you're going to have to deal with that.
I can do 247.
Yeah.
Maybe. I actually have another movie one. Does anybody else have a movie? Okay,
I got video game 6.
Back to Freaky Friday Disney stuff. There's a Freaky Friday sequel probably in the works.
What?
With Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. And that's kind of a personal story. I'm a little bit jazzed about that.
Like, I'm really jazzed to see Lindsay Lohan again, but I'm very confused.
As to what it will be, I think they're gonna do a thing. I don't know. I hope they do a stressed out 30-something Lindsay Lohan and her mom, and that they don't like try and do it with Lindsay Lohan and her daughter now, but like a retired Jamie Lee Curtis that just doesn't give a fuck, and they sit there criticizing each other. I'd be down for that.
She is
I'm
at
sorry,
the
like-
best level of success and not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Lee. Like, I've loved
She-
Jamie Lee since Trading Places. Okay?
Yeah.
And she was on Reno 911,
She's Scream
and she was
Queens.
hilarious.
She was so funny in
Halloween.
Scream Queens.
Yeah.
All of the Jamie Lee, I'll take.
Yeah, and she actually is the one pushing for this. She made some calls after, like, she was doing, somebody suggested it to her in some interviews, and on the press tour for the latest Halloween, she was, like, dying to talk about it. She's called writers, she's trying to get it made. So, not a lot of news yet, except that both Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are talking about it.
Bring it.
I mean, I'll support it.
That's a live-action remake of an old Jodie Foster movie, except the Jodie Foster one was kind of garbage.
Sucks. I like Freaky Friday more than Mean Girls. Like, Freaky Friday, I think for you and me both, Kat, is, like, the definitive of that era of, like, girls' movies.
I think so. I put Mean Girls in a different category. I put
Fair
Freaky Friday as above and beyond children's content, and I put Mean Girls at adult content in
Fair
a
enough.
weird, just how satirical they're written. And I can't, abandon my girl Tina Fey. But I love both of them.
Icon.
Freaky Friday is so fun to watch.
So good.
So I've never actually watched Freaky Friday,
Same.
but only because Jamie Lee Curtis looks like my mom. So it's real weird to watch it.
We'll have a girls' night. And Jason, you are invited if you would like to come.
It's
It
a
actually
great
Ooh,
movie.
do I get
It's
to paint my toenails and
It's a
stuff?
full-on comedy.
want.
Like, it's
I'm-
a
You
comedy
That's
start
what
to
we do. We
finish.
just drink. We're gonna drink and order wings.
There we go.
That's what we're gonna do.
Maybe from the Cluckin'.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Fucking
good.
does not pay us. We're not even
We don't give
asking
a-
them to. They're so good.
It's so good.
I will just take an order of wings for. If you've never
Yeah.
we will take a
Get some
moment to
food.
tell you about the Cluckin' in Dallas.
If you live in Dallas, in North Dallas, check out the Cluckin'. You will not be disappointed, and your tummy will be full.
Frankfurt and Midway.
Their wings are huge.
We
They're
found this place
delicious.
after a D&D game where most of us were hungry and starving, and the food was excellent. They had been open a week,
Yeah,
the time, yeah.
They hadn't had their grand opening yet. It was a
but
soft opening.
they had like
good.
so many good reviews already on Google. We're like, we have to check this place out now.
And it's important to note, for dietary reasons, they are gluten-free, they are halal, and they are kosher. So if any of those things apply to you, you can still eat there.
And the owner is the nicest guy.
He's so cool.
He really is.
And they play Looney Tunes sometimes on that TV.
They do.
And my daughter told him his chicken fingers are better than Raising Cane's. And he looked like he was going to cry.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what girls' nights actually tend to
Sweet.
be like
Yeah.
around me.
That was our free advertising.
Yeah, so the Freaky
Deserve
Friday,
it.
excited to see it. If you haven't seen the original with Jamie Lee Curtis, it is on Disney Plus, and it's just a solid comedy.
It's so good.
Yeah. Moving on, what do we have in what other category? What do you have next, Cora?
I have video games and television.
There we go.
Okay, video games. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, so as you guys know, there is a little game called Final Fantasy 16 that's coming out this year. I'm pretty sure all of us might be a little bit excited for that. I know I'm really excited for that. I don't know about y'all. But there's one place that's not excited about it, and that's Saudi Arabia. We don't know the why, but we do know... Well, we don't know the distinct why, but we do know that Saudi Arabia has banned Final Fantasy 16 from the country because Square Enix will not play ball with making changes. And we don't know why specifically. Some people are guessing that it's because it's a mature game. There's lots of violence and sexual content supposedly in the game. Supposedly because we have not played it yet, so we don't know. Another rumor, and again, these are rumors because we don't have any definitive proof. They haven't said why. There is a gay character. Like, that's not a rumor. There is a gay character in the story. No one has said who the character is because of a spoiler, which means that they probably do have something to do with the main story. And they are gay, and that might be why.
That would be my number one guess.
That,
Shocking.
yeah, but Square Enix refuses to play ball. They are not going to be making those changes. Everything's going to be the same as it was. Yoshi P will not let them change it. He is very famous for that. So Saudi Arabia just won't have the game. Some people have suggested if you do live in Saudi Arabia and you do want to play the game, to create a North American PlayStation account so you can download it if you have a download only, or to somehow get a hold of the disc.
Yeah, it's likely if you're in that country and if you're watching this at all, you probably have VPN, right? And you have like workarounds. I'm happy that they won't change it. I do sympathize with people who can't get content the way they want it, or like in their area. But like, yeah.
It also seems like, because I saw some comments from Saudi Arabians, because the tweet that officially announced it was a Saudi Arabian user, and it was all in Arabic. So some of this is translated, might be translated a little wrong, because I got Google Translate, that's what I got. I can't speak Farsi or read it. I know you can, but you weren't in the room. But they seem to think that this is aimed at children. The trailer had a monster getting cut in half and covering a child in blood. This is not for children. But they seem to think that because or some of the parents seem to think that because it is video games. This is 17 plus. At least by American standards, it is labeled 17 plus. So
You'll execute a journalist, but you won't have a video game there. Yeah, I said that.
I mean, yeah. Like their best stuff.
Heaven forbid. Also, they recently tried to convince people, hey, if you're gay, you can vacation here. Don't worry about our laws.
yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, exactly. See, said no person of the LGBT community that's the first place I want to go visit.
See, them saying that specifically just gives like the biggest of red flags. Like, I'm not coming back from the country.
I mean, I hate to quote Chris Brown, but them hoes ain't loyal. Don't go there.
It was like the shocked Pikachu at the guitar cup, like. Well, yeah, that was gonna happen. That's why FIFA's an evil company.
Anyways, moving on.
What other? Do you have video games?
I do not have television.
Video games?
I do. So, Ed Boon on Twitter is very active, always talking about things with Mortal Kombat. We did recently, well, not recently, we had Mortal Kombat 11 was the last game. And people have been asking, Ed, where is MK12? Can we get some screenshots? Can we get something? Well, we finally got something. We got a video from posted on Ed Boon's Twitter and NetherRealm Studios, and it was a clock ticking down. 9, 10, 11, and then it went right to 1. So the word out with the last Mortal Kombat 11, and they were dabbling in some time travel and moving some characters around. that this might be a reboot of the Mortal Kombat series as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Mortal... Can I read that right? 30... God damn. Anyway, yes, 30 years of Mortal Kombat. But with this first tease, it looks like we might be going back to what made the game great. And honestly, I'm all for it. It has been 30 years since I was beating people down and fatalitying them on a Mortal Kombat cabinet. And honestly, looking at some of that, they had some video recently of them actually doing the live mocap captures of the characters, which was awesome. But I think I am ready to go back to what the game was originally about, with the closed fighters fighting for the fate of Earthrealm, or I forget what the Outworld. I think I'm ready for something like that. It's kind of what made this great. Now we've gotten into Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe with Ninja Turtles and Hellboy thrown in there, and Spawn, and RoboCop and the Terminator. Mortal Kombat games have gotten out of control. We've got, mind you, I play them. I played all of them, but they have gotten out of control with the guest stars and just all these characters. I kind of think I'm ready to go back to what made the game great. So if this is an indication that we're about to get a Mortal Kombat 1 like reboot, going back to where it all started, let's do it. Please.
I mean, yeah, I am super down. The Mortal Kombat movie, which not everybody liked, but I enjoyed.
Love that movie.
Like nostalgia vibes, hardcore nostalgia vibes for some of my OG characters doing their OG moves. Like, I liked it. I think, yeah, I'm with you. I'm down.
Also, with that, they are starting production on the sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie that came out on HBO. So, this will actually go to the theaters.
Yeah, probably not.
Rumors that Carl Urban will be playing Johnny Cage.
Huh.
Look at everybody change their tune. Look,
I didn't
tell
say
me the camera was on Cass's face when hers. Okay, I'll go for
It wasn't, and I did let them see that. Just
Yeah.
well, maybe.
So yeah, I moderately enjoyed the Mortal Kombat movie that came out on HBO Max. I watch it. I'll go for it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, if all this means a reboot of the Mortal Kombat series, starting at 1, let's go. Because I think y'all are running ideas and running out of guest stars to put in these games. You put the Ninja Turtles in there.
Bring back like one with move sets that, I mean, maybe I'm just old, that I can actually handle. Like, I'm down for you using all the controls, but like, they got out of hand with number of clicks for a move.
They put Rambo in there. God Lord, I forgot they put Rambo in there.
Bring it back to some smaller arenas, and yeah, super down. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Look and see what Ed Boon's going to say on Twitter next. So who had another video game story?
That is all the video games. I think Cass has a TV story.
I do have a TV story.
Moving to TV.
Moving to television. This will probably not be surprising to you, but I'm going to talk about the writer's strike. We are on our second week of the writer's strike, and I wanted to kind of update just if there's any, executives, I guess, watching some more motivation for you to give the writers what they want, and if you're not an executive, more support. Because here are the shows that have shut down, either their writers' rooms or their production. Big Mouth and Andor and the new Game of Thrones spinoff were all in their writers' room. They have shut down. Billions was in production. Daredevil was in production. What else? There's another one that I wanted to mention that was in production. What was it? What were you? Severance. Severance and Stranger Things were both in production, and they shut down. We have some people that are crossing the picket line, including I think it's Fear the Walking Dead. So don't side with the scabs, obviously. American Horror Story Season 12 has also been delayed. Andor. The creator, showrunner, Tony Gilroy, said that he personally discontinued all writing. He is standing with them, as well as George R. R. Martin for the new...
George R. R. Martin has has been on a strike for a decade.
He very specifically said that he couldn't, because he's not living in the U.S. right now, that he could not walk the line like he did in 1988. But he is in full support.
Oh yeah, he's written a couple essays about it. They are very good.
Yeah. The MTV Movie Awards, which you might not care about, but Drew Barrymore pulled out. They will be running without a host. Abbott Elementary Writers' Room was also set to start, and they are not starting. The other thing that I wanted to do is I found a couple other things that happened last time the writers were on strike as even more motivation to support. Celebrity Apprentice numbers skyrocketed during the last writer's strike. Ellen DeGeneres continued to do her show without writers because she said that she couldn't lay off 100 people. Conan O'Brien just paid them out of his own pocket because he's actually a good person. And
somebody else did that. Jon Stewart, maybe?
Conan O'Brien basically stubbornly stayed on air doing things like spinning his wedding ring for as long as he could and playing Rock Band to highlight the fact that those shows need writers. Yeah, if you don't want another Celebrity Apprentice to do well, support the writers. We need to end this strike as soon as possible by giving the writers exactly what they want.
Because they're not even asking for much.
They're really not.
3%. It'd be 3%.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Y'all can afford 3%.
Shake them pockets.
Give the writers what they want. Give them
I
everything
want my
they
shows.
Give it to them now.
But I stand with the
these
writers.
Shows will suffer and be delayed. Give the writers what they want.
The times have changed. It's time for streaming services to report what the actual numbers are on these shows, especially when it comes to people's pocketbooks. Things have changed. It's time to change with them.
And stop trying to transfer to a gig economy style for a writer. That's not fair. It's not cool. Don't do that.
Also, anybody that thinks writers make like so much, they don't. They make average, at best, livings, okay? They're doing what they love, but they deserve to be paid enough to live on it.
If you are not currently following Adam Conover, aka Adam Ruins Everything guy, he is really involved and he's putting out videos almost daily talking about the strike and talking about what's going on. So he's a good source.
I have seen some confusion online and like, how do you support it as an everyday person? And what I do know, and the answers are a little all over the place, but keeping the conversation very much happening, sharing articles, talking about it, following, what is it, WGA? East and West on like Twitter, Instagram, and others that are involved. There's a petition that I saw just going today to publicize anything you know was written by AI, to put the word out there in a big way, and to not watch it. No hate watching AI. Like, we're not going to do it.
Also, if you want a complete list of their demands, I actually, Cass, I updated your story on the website with the official sheets of what they're asking for. Read it. It's not that much.
And why did you have to do that?
What, to add that in there?
Because I'm not part of the union. I'm bad at writing.
I mean, there are lots of bad writers that are part of the union, I'm sure. Some of those shows, like Billions, I don't know.
But if you want to see
never
officially
watched a single
exactly
bit of it.
what they want, go read it and you might go, really? I don't want to give these people...
extremely reasonable. Yeah.
I mean, I'm honest, like, they need to get a little bit more, but this is what they're asking for.
I shared a picture on my Instagram story a couple of days ago that was talking about these companies are saying that they can't afford to pay these writers. They're not making enough money. And then they're telling their shareholders that they're going to make record profits off of streaming. Who do you think they're lying to?
The writers.
I mean,
Not
probably
the shareholders.
both, but like, who's profiting? And it's like, well, you know, the company.
They have a
the
legal
shareholders.
obligation to tell the shareholders more or less the
Fiduciary
truth.
responsibility.
Yeah, that's my I'm gonna keep talking about this.
Yeah. It's 2 pages of
Look
demands.
forward to an
You'll
update
read it in
every
5
week.
minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so get out there. It sucks for all of us to not have new content. We didn't get last week tonight.
didn't get
last
last week
week, and I
tonight.
was bummed.
Yeah.
But yeah, do what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. We need writers who can also afford groceries. That would be great. So,
Pay your writers, pay your artists.
Nobody works for exposure. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you?
I have TV. Do you have TV?
Yeah.
No, I've got that one article I wrote today.
Okay. Do you have TV?
I have TV, but go ahead.
Go.
Okay. It's time to set sail. Almost. Almost. Sometime this year we'll be setting sail because we've got more information on the live action One Piece coming to Netflix. I'm still nervous about it because what?
Because it's a live action.
I'm nervous too.
So, if you've never watched One Piece, just go look up clips or pictures. Like, you'll see it's a very cartoony style. The main character has the power to stretch his body impossibly because everything is made of rubber. So,
That CGI has never gone poorly.
yeah. I mean, I'm very nervous about this, but like we've been waiting on news. We know it's coming out sometime this year, and we got official word on why it's taking so long and how many episodes we should expect. So we're getting 8 episodes. That's a good number for me. That's a good number to see what story they want to tell. And the reason it's taking so long is because Oda wants to be hands-on as much as possible with writing. This is his creation, so I get it. And he's been open about it. He's like, it's just a struggle working with a foreign company. I didn't even think this could be possible, but here we are. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, but we're seeing where we have common ground, and we're trying to work through to make sure we both get what we want and give you the best product. And I appreciate that we're getting honesty on why we haven't heard anything. And as kind of, I guess, an apology, we got the poster that we see here. I like the poster. It looks really good. I'm still nervous.
Let me throw it back up.
Yeah,
There we go.
the poster looks really good. I like it.
Cute.
But
Well, we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I'll watch it. I will give it at least 1 episode of a watch. The actors involved all look really good. We've got Inaki Godi as our Monkey D. Luffy. We've got Makenyu as Zoro. We've got Emily Rudd as Nami. Jacob Romero Gibson as Usopp. We have Taz Skylar as Sanji. So that's like our main like Straw Hat Pirates. And it looks like they're going to be going through the Arlong Park arc, which is like the first one, I think. Like the weird shark people, if I remember correctly. It's been a hot minute since I've watched One Piece.
Do you mean it's been a hot minute since you watched like the first arc of something that has over 1,000 episodes?
Yeah, and actually I didn't watch that when I read it, so it was before we even got an anime.
Dude, like, yeah. Oh, why isn't your memory perfect?
I know, right? There is a One Piece person out there watching this, like, slightly
Excuse me.
Yeah, slightly fuming, already typing a furious comment. Like, excuse me, this is where Arlong Park is, and you're speaking of this one? I think you got it mixed up.
And I'm slightly envious because they know everything about One
Yeah.
Piece.
Like, I wish I had your encyclopedic knowledge.
One Piece needs a college course at this point.
It probably has one, honestly.
It's like Lost back in the day. Where
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, gosh. I feel like Lost is easier to follow.
I stopped caring.
But yeah, 8 episodes coming out sometime soon. We don't know what month, but I have faith that the story will be good even if the CGI is not.
That is a perfect segue into my last story. Speaking of things that we're anticipating and we don't know if they'll be very good, for those of you like me who were fans of the series Justified. With Deputy Marshal Raylan Givens, played by Timothy Oliphant, is just a smoking hot kind of devil-may-care good guy, but kind of bad guy.
You can arrest me anytime you want.
Yeah, kept shooting people all the time, most of whom deserved it. But
like in a
was he
sexy
justified?
way. Yeah.
Anyway, after 7 years, we'll be returning this July in a kind of sequel season called Justified City Primeval. So,
There's the big boy.
it's been 15 years in the story since Raylan Givens, spoilers for Justified, I guess, finally locked up Boyd Crowder and moved to Miami with his daughter, Willa, and still in Miami. His daughter's 15 now, and in something that happens, an incident in Miami, they get pulled to Detroit, where is where the season will take place. The main bad guy will be Clement Mansell, played by Boyd Holbrook. Boyd Holbrook, if you watch Sandman, he's the Corinthian. He's this blonde. He's got eyes, though. Just so you know. Anyway, he's I think he's a serial killer or something. This is based off another Elmer Leonard book. Elmer Leonard wrote Fire in the Hole and a number of other books that Raylan Givens is from. And so it's one season. We don't have any reason to think most of the original cast will be back other than him. It's very much removed and set somewhere different, just like the book. Things that I find interesting about it, though, is that Boyd Holbrook and also his daughter, Willa, will be played by his real-life daughter, whose name is Vivian Oliphant.
Nepotism.
Apparently, it's funny you bring that up. It was very much the opposite. He felt really awkward, even letting people know she was auditioning. She got the audition on her own, and he got to this crossroads of where it was but I have to tell them, right? I have to tell them who she, because they're gonna ask questions. It's gonna be weird if I didn't say, yes, this is my daughter. And apparently she had kind of they said very raw energy, but also they brought some real life little spats to set where she'd be like, don't tell me what to do and I've got this kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, it's supposed to be one season, same showrunners. It has Dave Andron is showrunning this one. He said Raylan may die. I think you'll be really surprised at the stuff that happens. So yeah. I don't know. Who watched this series?
Oh, I love Justified.
I rewatched it in the last year and a half. It's fun to watch.
I don't know that I ever finished it.
It petered out a little.
It petered out. I think that I watched most of it.
I finished it.
It also has the greatest on-foot chase of all time with two men in their late 70s.
I also love the pistol handling in that show. Sorry.
It's
They
a
have
great
some
show.
really reasonable,
Oh, yes,
draws.
yes.
You can believe that somebody is that fat, and they did it right. They did firearms very much right.
It's also, I think, the first show that I saw, at least that character actress Margot Martindale really shined. And Kat and I watched Cocaine Bear this last
God.
weekend.
Love that movie.
It was so good.
Just flawless timing.
amazing.
Margot Martindale, who was definitely acting before then, but that was the
That's
first
the
place
thing.
to me that she stood out.
Yeah.
It is where most of the world fell in love with Walton Goggins, which
Legend.
I don't think he'll be in the, and
I
that's
don't think
the
so either.
thing that makes it hard
You
to
mean it
want to
wasn't
get into.
The G.I. Joe movie with The Rock?
That was after that.
It wasn't. I don't know. He was in that though. But the
I
first
thought it was the ant and the wasp.
the
or
first
whatever.
commercial that I saw for Justified that made me want to watch the show was when he was getting robbed at the gas pump, and he just doused the guy with gasoline, and as the guy was about to shoot him, he's like, "Hold on, you do know how guns work, right?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I would go up like a match."
definitely the first show where Caitlin Dever shined, and you would know her from this and from Dope Sick, actually. She's a fantastic actress.
She's the little girl that Margot Martindale takes care of. That
fantastic.
little Kentucky thing. But they didn't have to show me a clip from the show. They had to show me a poster to get me on board with the first one. And I do love that anybody who's interested in men reacted appropriately to how hot Timothy Olyphant was.
There's
in
a
that show.
reason that what in The Good Place, they tried to bribe the judge with Timothy Olyphant. There's something incredibly attractive about him.
In this character specifically. So yeah, might be good. That's all I have on that. It's supposed to premiere in July. I don't know on what, but I don't look it up. Anyway, Jason, what do you have?
Last one was some good news. Can I have that over there for a second? So Hasbro, just gonna take it from me. Okay.
Yeah.
Hasbro released today that they are releasing another figure from the Forgotten Realms, and it's another Dritz figure, which I will buy. But this Dritz figure is more in celebration of 35 years of the character. R.A. Salvatore is involved. R.A. Salvatore is involved in it. The packages will be signed by, not signed personally, they're printed on the package. But this is supposed to be more the vision that he had for the character. I was bringing it up because I reviewed this figure when I got it as the deluxe version of it, and it made my top 10 for the year. It was just a very good, pinless, so many accessories. There won't be as many with this one. We will be getting Twinkle and Icing Death, one effect, a gemstone, and there is supposedly some compatibility with this figure and that figure, like as far as heads and everything. He does also come with a cloak and, of course, scabbards for his 2 scimitars. If you want to see more pictures of that, you can always go over to supercoolnerdshow.com, where there is a gallery for him out and in package. And with everything he comes with, this figure will retail for, I believe it is $28.99. And you can pre-order right now on Hasbro Pulse and other stores. I provided a link to Hasbro Pulse since they sent us press on it. So go check it out, pre-order it. I believe it's supposed to be coming out sometime at the beginning of next year.
Well, they got my money.
Oh yeah, I've already pre-ordered. I don't even think I looked at the price. I just pre-ordered it. I do want them to do more characters from Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
I know Dritz is very, very popular. 35 years of the character. Yeah, it makes sense to do another one. So, but bring on maybe, some dwarves or,
But you can make
tieflings.
They could make my Drow Bard if they want to.
They can make any of my characters. I'm ecstatic about that.
I mean, Hasbro Selfie Series, you can get like figures made of yourself, but
The same.
it is not. We got some ideas if you want, but also they did the figures for the Dungeons and Dragons movie as well. Go check them out there. So if you want to get an idea of what those figures look like, the Dritz this one is still available on Hasbro Pulse, so it is an exclusive there, but they do have them. But good fig, and I hope that the trend continues with this next release.
Yeah, it is a really good looking figure.
I love the fairy fire effect though, because it just seamlessly comes on and off.
I mean, who doesn't want their?
Also they included
to be on fire,
and they included a full size panther with this figure too. So
Yeah.
you got Guinevere,
Also,
and the totem,
and an alternate head. Aha.
and alternate hair.
Well, the alternate head has alternate hair.
You can take the hair. You never knew that. You can take the hair off of each figure and put it on the other one. I bought her that figure for her birthday. I swear she's probably had it like 2 years, maybe.
I have. I posed it and I wouldn't touch it.
You can remove the hair and change it. So she's learned something today. Anyway.
that has been our show. We have to leave so Cora can go trade the hair out on her dressed figure. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Definitely go check out supercoolnerdshow.com. And if you want to check us out individually,
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JasonTheX.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CoroDonoArt.
Twitter and Instagram, The Good Cat.
and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BetterCat. Check out SCNS Live on all the socials, pretty much. And
Saturday.
as we have never said on this show ever before, but we're going to say in perfect unison for the first time without talking about it.
Keep on nerding. D&D this Saturday.